Welcome to The Explainer. We are jumping right into something today that I know literally all of us are wrestling with right now. I'm talking about that deeply frustrating, totally scattered feeling. You know the one, right? Where it feels like your attention span has somehow shrunk to the size of a goldfish. Well, today we're diving into some incredibly fascinating source material that reveals a pretty profound truth. Our everyday digital habits are quietly draining our cognitive capacity. The very parts of your brain that determine whether you feel sharp or foggy, decisive or stuck, they're basically under siege. But listen, here's the absolute best part, and honestly why I'm so excited to share this with you. There are highly actionable, entirely science-backed steps that you can take starting today to completely reverse it. So let's just dive right in.
Okay, here's our agenda for this explainer. We'll kick things off with the quiet brain drain, look into the science of screen time, do a really quick diagnostic to see if you're overstimulated, and then we'll cover the tools to rebuild your brain, capping it all off with a 7-day challenge.
Section 1. The quiet brain drain. Let's validate exactly what you've been experiencing.
So, are you feeling more distracted lately? Just kind of mentally tired? Are tasks that used to be a breeze suddenly making you feel completely overwhelmed? Well, I want you to hear this loud and clear. You are not imagining things. And what's absolutely crucial to understand here is that this scattered feeling, it isn't some sort of character flaw. It's definitely not laziness. It's not just getting older, and it for sure doesn't mean you're just inherently bad at focusing. What the research actually shows is that this is the direct result of an unintentional digital habit that is actively weakening your brain.
So what's the actual culprit? Well, the problem isn't just screens. I mean, we all use screens, right? The real issue is exactly how we're using them. It's the constant micro-switching. It's the app hopping. It's falling into that endless scroll. Essentially, what you're doing is feeding your brain rapid novelty over and over again, creating this constant dopamine drip of tiny, unintentional scrolls with these drastic emotional swings in every single swipe. You aren't losing your intelligence. Actually, scratch that. You're actively teaching your brain to crave shallow stimulation instead of deep focus.
Section 2. The science of screen time. Time to look under the hood. Let's talk about executive function. Think of this as your brain's ultimate cognitive superpower. It's your ability to plan, to inhibit impulses, to switch tasks intentionally, and to actually stay on track with your goals. When you fall into a doom scroll, this is exactly the critical capacity that takes the hit. We need this to live a purposeful life, and the digital habits we've completely normalized are systematically undermining it. To see how this actually plays out, recent studies reveal 3 major cognitive deficits. First up, attention. Look, where your attention goes determines your life. But heavy screen users perform significantly worse on focus-based tasks. You just can't stay locked in on one thing anymore. Second, your executive function takes a dive. The real-world impact? Well, you sit down to reply to one single email, and suddenly you're scrolling TikTok or buying random things on Amazon without even realizing how you got there. And third, cognitive flexibility. Heavy media multitasking is directly linked to increased impulsivity and way worse decision-making. You become jumpy, highly reactive, and entirely overwhelmed by the absolute simplest of choices.
But hey, the source material takes this a step further. And honestly, this is where it gets incredibly profound. We aren't just talking about failing some performance test. EEG and brain imaging studies show measurable physical changes. We're talking about weaker frontal theta power, which are the specific brainwaves that actually help you focus. We're also seeing literal gray matter reductions in the cortices responsible for top-down control and emotional regulation. And get this, over several years, high internet use even predicted smaller gains in verbal intelligence and white matter. Bottom line, the more your brain gets trained on rapid novelty, the less physical capacity it has for deep thinking.
Section 3. Are you overstimulated? Let's bring this out of the abstract neuroscience for a quick diagnostic check.
Okay, let's play a really quick put a finger down test. Put a finger down if you can't read 1 or 2 pages of a book without automatically reaching for your phone. Put a finger down if you frequently lose your train of thought mid-sentence. How about if you open your phone to do one specific thing but end up doing 5 other things instead? Put a finger down if you feel mentally tired after tasks that really should be super easy. Or if you bounce between browser tabs with absolutely no plan. Or if you just feel mentally cluttered for most of the day. So here is the crucial takeaway. If 3 or more of these hit home for you, you are actively running on an overstimulated, undertrained brain.
Which brings us to the massive aha mindset shift of this entire explainer. You do not have a motivation problem. Let me just say that again so it sinks in. You are not lazy, and you do not lack drive. What you have is an overstimulation problem. Your cognitive capacity isn't permanently gone, it just hasn't been trained in the right direction lately. And because the brain is insanely adaptive, shout out to neuroplasticity, this is entirely reversible.
Section 4. Rebuilding your brain. We are going to treat your focus exactly like a muscle and take it to the mental gym. Meet the reversal protocol. It's a highly structured 5-step method from the source material used by professionals to get their minds back. Rebuilding cognitive capacity is pretty simple in theory. It requires doing good reps to build strength and actively reducing the negative stressors that tear it down. Let's walk through exactly how to execute each one of these 5 steps in your day-to-day life.
Step 1 is deep work reps. Now forget the whole idea that you need to go into monk mode and lock yourself in a room for 3 hours. That is not where we start. You start with this number right here, 10 to 30. You just set a timer for 10 to 30 minutes of deep work. One task, no switching, no notifications. Think of it like interval training for your brain. You do your block, and then you take a 10-minute break. Classic Pomodoro technique. At first, you're going to feel totally dependent on that timer. But the more you do these reps, the less you'll rely on the structure. Your focus will just naturally expand.
Step 2 is dual end-back training. This is a specific type of sequence-matching memory game you can easily grab as an app on your phone. Think of it as heavy mental weights for your working memory. Dual end-back is literally one of the only cognitive training methods shown in research to reliably improve working memory, which is the absolute foundation of your focus, problem-solving, and emotional regulation. Now, I'll be completely honest with you. The source notes that this is going to be tough at first. It's not exactly a fun game. But if you spend 15 to 20 minutes a day on this, your mind will get noticeably quieter, your thoughts will get sharper, and you're going to feel infinitely more capable.
Steps 3 and 4 are all about eliminating unconscious reflexes. First, you have got to protect your baseline with the morning rule. Do not scroll first thing in the morning. If you give your attention away immediately, your brain spends the rest of the day frantically trying to get it back. The same goes for the pre-work rule. Absolutely no short-form content right before you try to do deep work. Finally, you have to add digital friction. We all cheat on our screen time limits because, well, we're human. The source highly recommends using physical friction devices, like those NFC brick tags. You tap your phone on the tag, stick the tag on the fridge in a totally different room, and it physically locks your distracting apps. It literally forces you to break that unconscious doom-scrolling reflex. And step 5 is attention recovery. You need a 30 to 60-minute window every single day of absolute zero digital stimulation. No scrolling, no multitasking. You just have to let your nervous system settle. Go for a walk, read a physical book, have a joyful conversation with a friend that doesn't involve any drama. Taking this time to just be literally resensitizes your tension and resets all that heavy cognitive fatigue you've been carrying around.
Section 5, the 7-day challenge. Let's see how this builds into something you can start today.
I want to challenge you to take everything we've learned in this explainer and apply it immediately. Here is your incredibly concise 7-day challenge. 1. Every single morning, absolutely no scrolling for the first hour you are awake. 2. Every day, execute just one 10 to 30-minute deep work session. Set a timer, one task, zero distractions. And 3. Every other day, do 10 to 15 minutes of dual end-back training. That is the whole shebang. If you do these 3 structured steps for just 1 week, the science promises that your brain is going to begin to feel remarkably different.
Before we wrap up, I just have to leave you with this powerful existential quote directly from the source material. Do not waste this wonderful life and opportunity that you have scrolling it away because you are addicted to that dopamine buzz. Chase after a beautiful purpose, not scrolls. When you are constantly feeding your brain shallow stimulation, you are distancing yourself from the present, and you are distancing yourself from your actual purpose. The stakes here aren't just about being a little more productive at work. The stakes are your life. Which brings us to a question I want you to seriously ask yourself today. Will you scroll away your life, or will you reclaim your focus? You now understand the science? You have the exact protocol to rebuild your cognitive capacity? The choice is yours. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I seriously can't wait to see what you achieve when you finally get your brain back.